All right.
Okay, thank you. Hey, Garrett.
Hey, good to hear from you again, Jimmy. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Good. Can you hear me well?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, let's get right into it then. So, I know that the band is a quintet, but tell me a little bit about what 5 of 7 means in terms of not only the music but the band itself.
It doesn't really mean anything in particular. Bruce, our mentor, Bruce Hampton, had a band long before we ever knew him called the 4 of 9. It struck me, and I thought it was hilarious. And we were looking for a name. It's a really hard thing to name a band.
Yeah.
It's the hardest thing ever to name a band. So, we talked around a bunch of different stuff. And, for some reason, that one just kept coming back.
Yeah.
5 of 7. That's really all there was to it.
Yeah. But I would surmise too there's definitely an underlying tribute to the Colonel, seeing as I think three out of the 4 other members were in his bands.
Mhm. Yeah, and so even without realizing it, we found other things that kind of pertain to to the next 5 of 7, but it all came after the fact, and it's just another one of those reminders that the people that you've lost are still with you.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways.
Well, and is it 3 of the 4 members, or the other 4? Or all 4 of them played with Bruce?
They all played with Bruce at one time or another. Now with Matt, he played with Bruce at different times. He also played in the Aquarium Rescue Unit whenever we play. He wasn't in the original band,
Yeah.
but he did play with us the most recent times we played. And then Darren I think he was in his last band, and Kevin was in more than one band with him, and Rick Lawler was also in one of his bands. So, we've all played with him at one time or another.
Did you know that going into this project that everyone had played with him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then what does that mean to you when you put a band together like that? Because that's a camaraderie and a bond right out of the gate that is pretty priceless.
It is, and the fact that we've all worked with Bruce, it's not, I wouldn't call it a prerequisite, it didn't have to be that way, but if it could be that way, it was a good thing in my mind, because once you played with him and the other people that have played with him, even if it wasn't at the same time, you share something in common with them. It's sort of like an extended family,
Yeah.
And if, Bruce would teach you about things, without actually saying, okay, I'm going to teach you something now. He led by example, and you just had to be open and alert. And one of the things you learn from him is, don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
You get out on the road, and things will go wrong, and you can't let it ruin everything. You just have to. That's one of the things I like about working with people that have been with him, because nothing breaks them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you just you're playing for the cause, and the cause is it's hard to define what the cause is. It's just you're not playing for the wrong reason. Basically, what it does.
Yeah. So then how does that translate into what you, as you've grown older, have imparted on those younger generations that look at you in possibly the same way that you looked at Bruce?
Wow, I've never thought about that. I really don't know. We just have a good time. We laugh a lot. We tell stories a lot about our different experiences with the master.
Yeah.
And we tell a lot of stories, and we laugh a lot, and there's a certain vocabulary that you get hip to when you work with Bruce, and so we all kind of speak from that vocabulary, and there's a lot of inside jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I was watching some of the clips, and even though it is quote unquote it's your band, it comes across very diplomatic. Is that what you intend for fronting your own project, or?
Yes, I've never really liked the idea of my name being out front of anything. You know, I'm kind of uncomfortable with that. And, you know, the idea is that we're all there. You know, we all have to travel every mile. We all have to be away from our families. And so, to me, I just look at it like we're all equal, you know. And, you know, I'm older than those guys, you know, a lot older. But at the same time, you know, like, they know that their opinions are just as valid as anyone else's. And I mean, and the idea is that everybody's equal and that everybody gets to play, and you play as long as you have something to say. You know, like nobody goes, okay, you can take a solo, but it's only going to be 16 bars.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's none of that. You know, it's a fine line, and we're still messing with it. You know, we know that we all three shouldn't probably take solos in every song.
Yeah.
You know, and some of that is something we're still, you know, feeling out. You know, but I want everybody. I'd rather have somebody in the band come to me. You know, man, I don't think I need to take a solo in that song. It's making the song too long or whatever. I'd rather have them say that to me than me say to them, yeah, I don't think you should solo it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I don't think of the music that way. I mean, I just want everyone to feel I would treat everybody the way I'd want to be treated.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
and that's the way they all do, you know.
Well, to your point, I was watching this clip with this older clip of the legendary bassist Ray Brown, and he was telling this group of I guess students. He was saying like, the most important thing you can do is not it's not about playing too fast or playing the solos, but to get a good sound and play in tune.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that statement? I mean, I know it's about bass, but do you take anything with that as a guitar player?
Absolutely. I see that as a musical statement, not one that pertains to any particular instrument. You know, and all of us look at music that way. Like, I mean, I happen to play guitar. You know, Kevin plays bass. You know, Matt plays keyboards. But we don't ever think about, hey, this is a keyboard song or this is a keyboard solo, or you know, like we think of it in terms of music. And so what he said, I believe that's some of the best advice you can give anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, because you know, nobody really cares, you know, about your bitching technique if you don't sound good and make things feel good.
Yeah.
And if you're tune, you know, if you're out of tune, I mean, sure, there's going to be times when things are out of tune. You know, we know that really you can never really be in tune, but you do your best, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, that's all relative, being in tune, because, you know, guitars are probably never in tune. And the truth of the matter is, you know, the instrument's nature is probably never going to let it be totally in tune. But, you know, you do your best, and you know, the sounding good and being in tune is probably two of the most, you know, I mean, I would put that way above technique or anything like that.
Yeah. What is the importance of having a solo outlet? You know, I mean, I know you're very busy with Widespread. You're touring this weekend, but why is it important to have that solo outlet?
Well, it's just another outlet for a different type of exploration with a different vocabulary, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, it's sort of talking about a different subject. You know, it's like when you sit at a table with some people. You know, let's say you're sitting with your family, and you know you're talking about, I don't know, it could be anything. It could be, you know, the political climate in the world right now or whatever. Yeah. And then you go to a different place, and you're talking about a different subject with a different group of people. You know, and you know, that's all it is, really, to me. I mean, I just think of it as, oh, it's a different vocabulary. It's sort of like you know, like Widespread has their own, you know, they have their own language. They've built it over a 30-plus year career playing music, and then, but in other bands, you know, get together and they have a different sort of language, and it's kind of like that in a way.
Well, I would also.